I was born on a small island in the Black Sea. There are bears and wolves and something else. You're not like they say. Oh, here I
At Bob Evans, we're so committed to making delicious, buttery, real mashed potatoes, we've started speaking in That means you better believe it. Real milk and fresh potatoes for a mash made in dinner heaven. That one speaks for itself. When you need comfort, bring out the Bob.
Just waiting for crazy neighbor to come along, pick me up. Yeah, nobody looks over here. They just drive right on past, even with me this close to the road. So you probably noticed, it's about time for a new sweater, but I needed something really powerful and ugly for this trip. So I got this little thing on, and I had this back in the boondocking days in like 2010. So this thing's had a good life, 10 years, and you know, I wore the snot out of it. So it's holding together for now, but just barely. And beautiful wife actually rescued this for me. I'd worked at the cemetery, and that's where I'd met her. And I got fired, and I'd left this at one of the job sites. It got hot one day, and I took it off when I was weed whacking around the grave markers. And I got fired, and I left this behind, and she grabbed it and held on to it for me. And then I think it's our second date or third date, maybe even longer than that, before she actually got it back to me. But it was really nice of her to save this little piece of boondocking history. So pretty much all that's left from those days. They don't have that RV anymore. The storage fees were building up, and I'd had it in storage in BC. And after a year or two, I hadn't gone back, and I'd spent more in storage fees than it was worth, and I just couldn't justify that. So I gave it up to the storage lot, and somebody's got that now, but it's most likely scrap or garbage or something like that. But it is truly incredible. You don't have to go too far away from civilization, and then you start to find more nature. Not far away at all. Oh, I got a text. I wonder if that's the ride. Okay. Crazy neighbor has just shown up, and he's parked across the road. I'm just waiting for a break in traffic here. And then I'll run across. And it always comes in waves, because you got that one slow driver at the start that slows everybody down. So where there's one car, there's always more. You know, I can see a semi coming, delivering much needed provisions. And as soon as he goes, I am gonna make a break across the road and warm up. I wonder if he's got a coffee for me. That would be nice too. Let's see. Okay, yep, here we go. We are going across right now. Oh, another semi. Well, I don't have to be too stealthy on the way out, because I've already done the dirty deed. There's some traffic there. Not a problem. I'll just here. Nice. Holy man. That was really running on the way in. Okay. That was a successful camp. Oh, hey, crazy neighbor.
How's it going?
Oh, it's going good.
Thanks for finding you on the highway.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching, guys. And we'll see you next week. And until then, stay safe, and you're camping with Steve.
My name's Ethan. I started smoking menthol cigarettes to be just like the cool guys in the ads.
First, though, I got a bushcraft to fire. Picked up some firewood. There we go. Couple of big chunks in here. So, hopefully these big ones will light properly. That should get it going. Now you're camping with Steve. Okay, it looks like it's gonna go, but just to be sure, I've thrown in some garbage from the car and some of these zip fire starters. Can't go wrong with a few of them in there. And Definitely want to be nice and warm in these cold weather conditions. Oh yeah. Now with the fire going, it's time for a well-deserved step 2. Yum yum. Time of year, I don't even need a cooler. I just leave stuff out in the snow. Actually, I have to put hand warmers in my cooler to stop stuff from freezing. Neat times out here. So this will be the actual shelter is going to be this tree. And I'll just quickly set up the shelter here. All right, done. I'll just put the sleeping bag on there and sleep right by the fire, under the stars. I'm gonna get dinner started simmering now because it's gonna be a stew tonight. And that'll take a while to cook. So just use your regular knife you took out of the kitchen, IKEA brand, and brown up some beef, canola oil, first. The meat is browned, and I just picked up one of these packages of beef stew spice mix stuff. And I'm pretty sure I can throw it all into a pot, get it boiling. Like that. You don't waste anything flammable around here. And the instructions call for 2 cups of water. That sounds gross, so I'm just going to use Guinness. Dollar store bottle opener. All right. Don't burn your spoon. Got that stirred up. When I throw in the vegetables and potatoes later, I'm just using cans of potatoes, cans of vegetables, and I'll just dump them all in. So this has got a long time to simmer. As that's simmering and cooking, I'll just briefly mention what I brought with me. A cheap tarp from Sporting Goods store here, $40 or so. Cheap sleeping bag from that same store, Canadian Tire if anybody is curious, but you may know that's where I do a lot of shopping. The fire starter was just a standard issue road flare from the auto department of said store. Whatever I could scrounge out of the kitchen. And this, typical folding chair, Outbound brand. It's actually broken, but works good enough. And then I just got, clothes from the thrift store on, keeping myself warm today. So while this cooks, I'll do a quick walk around before we lose our daylight, and then we are going to be eating good tonight. There is a garbage for my garbage, so that's convenient. And I'm the only one here, of course. Just going to walk down. I think the bathrooms are locked up, but I'll check. Awesome. Washrooms are open. So sadly, there is a highway right there, so there's some road noise. But I drove in looking for a spot that was further from the road, and it's not plowed, so I got a little scared, and then I just decided I'll camp right here to avoid any problems. And a playground with a swing set over there, should I choose to indulge later. I don't see a lot of animal tracks out here, but I did see some out on the road. So I'm going to take a look at what we might have out here for wildlife. There hasn't been too much wildlife around here, judging by the tracks lately, but there's a lake just up there. I'm going to go peek at the lake. That lake's a lot farther than I thought. I might just mind my stew and have another step 2. Step 3. So I tasted that. Basically, I think I got a little overboard putting that whole can of stout in there. So I had to water it down with beef broth and kind of chuck in some onions. Let that simmer some more. And of course, throw in a little pepper. All right. And can add more liquid to the fuel here because I was not anticipating the stout to boil down to such an aggressive flavor. But when I added the broth to it, that was fine. So, potatoes. I've never used canned potatoes before, but I really like convenient camping things. Okay. Diced potatoes. I've got a date with a stew. And so do the sweet peas and carrots. And again, I'm not straining them because I want to water down that really aggressive flavor. We'll let that all get to know each other here in the pot. Oh yeah. Looks like it's going to be a fine stew. You probably can't even see it from there. But we got this here. Oh, the beef is just falling apart. Yeah. Well, let this simmer for a while longer. I know people are going to be questioning whether I actually slept outside tonight or not. I'm throwing a time lapse on tonight so you can actually see the full experience of me snoring and tossing side to side all night long beside a mediocre fire in minus 15 degree weather, which is 5 degrees Fahrenheit. Well, it's cold, I'm not going to lie about that. But I got an ace up my sleeve. I'm going to put my other sleeping bag inside of this one. That should help get me through the night. A little bit of snow particles falling on this guy. And that's what I used the other week. The sleeping bag here. And I was just fine. So I'll put this one inside of it. And that's the last ace I have up my sleeve, because I know for a fact I'll be crawling to the car if I don't have this actually prepared. This other sleeping bag, again from the same place, and let it loft up, but it's polyester on the outside. It's very smooth and comfortable versus nylon, but both are equally susceptible to sparks coming off the fire. So those two things should keep me alive tonight, but we'll see. We will see how that goes. All right, it is that time to dig in to some beef stew on the campfire. And wow, is this good. I'm actually going to get up and show you as much as I can here. The meat, if I can find a nice chunk of it here, just flakes apart like that. It's all delicious. Oh yeah. Doesn't get better than that. And like I said before, I'd go a little easier on the stout because that did impart quite a flavor on it. Maybe half a bottle would be pretty good. But I had some Band-Aids available to patch it all together. Fresh baked tray buns from the bakery. Oh, yes. Is this ever good? I'll be in a food coma tonight. So I hope you could see what it looks like. I know you can't taste what it tastes like over YouTube, but I have to give a big shout out to all of the beer donation funds, because really it helps me take a day off of work or an extra day a week off of work to be able to film this stuff. And I couldn't do it without you guys. I'm going to give another shout out to Dan and Chris from Paradise, California. They've been a good supporter as well. Oh yeah, that is good. You don't want to overdo it because you'll burn them. So glad the bears are all hunkered down right now. So glad. There's probably very few people that have had to do this in the world, but I'm putting a hand warmer into the cooler I was mentioning earlier, so that my modest breakfast does not freeze. That should be enough to keep it going. And this is just like iron filings and some salt and stuff. And it starts to rust hyperactively, and it's an exothermic reaction, and it just gives off enough heat to keep all these good things in there from being frozen solid in the morning. I actually have to put a few of these on to my cell phone, or one of them at least. Hopefully it won't wreck the cell phone, but I want to be able to record a little time lapse of me. I've never watched a time lapse of myself sleep before, but I guess I will tomorrow when I'm editing. Here's what happens. Got these packs. Gonna tape one onto the phone so that can film all night, hopefully. And then I'll tape one or two maybe onto this external battery pack. Lithium ion batteries do not get along well with freezing temperatures. I've had to do a little stuff to restart my tablets and laptops and this thing. Yeah, nothing safer than highly explosive battery wrapped up with warming pads, but it should do the job. Before I get into bed, I'm putting all the wood I can on this fire. I hope this is going to be nice and warm. So far, so good. Feels cozy. Okay. Well, see you guys in the morning. And gonna hunker down for a little bit here. Oh yeah. This is quite okay. Good morning. That worked awesome, actually. Crazy cozy night. Nice cool air in the face. And the rest of the sleeping system worked just fine. So I'm gonna crawl out of my nice warm sleeping bags. And I'm not starting a fire, but I'm gonna get breakfast going. Oh yeah. Am I recording? Let's see. Yeah, I am. So I really had good intentions of having a tomato with my breakfast today, but that froze. So no tomato today. Okay, the butane stove is working because I warmed up the cylinder. I had that little butane cylinder in my pocket. I got it warmed up. But I'm just going to warm up a bagel and put some cream cheese onto it for a fairly simple breakfast. Unfortunately, no tomato. Yeah. So the one thing I did need to do last night was put my head under the sleeping bag a little bit because the snow is coming down. And even like right now, it's a clear blue sky, but there's these tiny ice particles that are falling down just from the moisture in the air. And they were falling on my face. So sometimes you have to tuck your head under the sleeping bag when it's super cold. You probably shouldn't though, because it'll put in a lot of humidity into the sleeping bag, but I did have to cover up. So here's the one purpose of a shelter. Yeah, I normally don't eat the breakfasts because I'm in such a rush to get back home and edit, etc. But I am ahead of the curve because I'm using different software now, and I should be able to. It's mostly edited. So it'll upload pretty quick. Oh yeah, this will be good. Okay. Oh, pan toasted goodness. And I will cream cheese the bejeez out of these, because cheese on everything, including breakfast. But one of the nice aspects of this setup is there's nothing to really tear down in the morning. I got to basically just stuff the sleeping bag back in the bag and roll up the tarp, do a final garbage sweep of the area, and then hit the road. An everything bagel. That'll get the day going nicely. Well, that definitely takes the cake for the least gear I've ever brought on a camping trip. It's quite freeing, actually, to not have to bring a wood stove, etc. And that was doable, absolutely doable. And a far cry from how I used to camp, back in the motorhome days. But it's a time to reevaluate your life when you find yourself drinking beer with a bunch of carnies in a Walmart parking lot on a Tuesday morning. So this is looking forward to the future and moving forward. So who knows? Maybe I'll drag this stuff in one day with a backpack somewhere. Anyway, I'm going to get this edited up for the regular Thursday video, guys. Thanks for watching if you've made it this far. Please subscribe also if you have. I promise I'll do my best to get more videos up. And I do have occasional surprise videos that pop up, so that way you'll see them as well if you're subscribed. But if not, you can just check in on Thursdays, and there should be something up every week. So until next time, you're camping with Steve, and hunker down, guys.
Check out these deals of the week at Walgreens.